Here's something most people never figure out until it's too late. Your entire life, everything you'll become, everything you'll achieve, everything you'll contribute, it all gets decided in the first hour after you open your eyes. Now, I know that sounds dramatic, but stay with me here because this might be the most important thing you hear today. Let me ask you something. When that alarm goes off tomorrow morning, who's really in charge of what happens next? Is it you, with your dreams and your goals and your potential? Or is it that comfortable pillow, that warm blanket, and that voice in your head saying just 5 more minutes? Because I'll tell you right now, that battle, that simple little battle between you and that snooze button, that's not a small thing. That's everything. You know what I learned after all these years of studying successful people? The difference between someone who's making it and someone who's struggling isn't found in their big decisions. No, it's found in how they start their day. Let me tell you something that might shake you up a little bit. I've had breakfast with millionaires, and I've had breakfast with people who were broke. And here's what fascinated me. It wasn't what they ate that was different. It was what time they ate it, what they were thinking about while they ate it, and what they did in that first hour after opening their eyes. See, most people wake up and immediately go into reaction mode. The alarm goes off, they hit snooze 3 times, finally drag themselves out of bed, and then spend the next hour responding to whatever life throws at them. Check the phone, read the news, get disturbed by what's happening in the world, rush through a shower, grab whatever's quick for breakfast, and head out the door already feeling behind. That's not a morning routine, that's a morning emergency. And here's the challenge with that approach. When you start your day in emergency mode, you spend the rest of your day trying to catch up with yourself. Now let me tell you about a different approach. When I was younger and struggling to make ends meet, I noticed I was waking up later and later. I'd sleep until the last possible moment, then rush through my morning like my hair was on fire, and you know what? My bank account reflected that chaos. My relationships reflected that chaos. My health reflected that chaos. Everything in my life was reactive, scattered, and just barely getting by. Then I met this mentor who changed everything for me. He asked me a simple question. Jim, what time did you wake up this morning? I told him, and he just smiled and said, that explains a lot. He taught me something profound that morning. He said, Jim, successful people understand that the morning is when you take command of your day, not the afternoon when you're tired, not the evening when you're depleted, the morning. That's when your willpower is strongest. That's when your mind is clearest. That's when you have the most energy to invest in yourself. And then he said something I'll never forget. Don't give your best hours to someone else's agenda. Give your best hours to becoming the person who can handle any agenda. That hit me hard. I realized I'd been giving away my mornings to sleep, to comfort, to whatever felt easy in the moment. But successful people, they were claiming their mornings like prime real estate. They understood something fundamental about human nature. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you can't discipline yourself to start your day with intention, how are you going to discipline yourself to build a business, to save money, to improve your relationships, to reach your goals? Here's what I started doing, and it changed everything. I set my alarm an hour earlier, just 1 hour, and instead of sleeping in, I used that hour to work on myself. I'd read something that inspired me. I'd review my goals. I'd think about the kind of person I wanted to become. I'd plan my day with intention instead of just reacting to whatever showed up. And you know what happened? Within 90 days, my income started changing. Within 6 months, my whole life started changing. Not because I found some magic formula, but because I changed who I was becoming, and I did it one morning at a time. Let me explain why this works. Your morning is the only time of day that truly belongs to you. Think about it. Once you leave your house, you're on someone else's schedule. Your boss's schedule. Your client's schedule. Your family's needs. Traffic patterns. Appointment times. But that first hour, that's yours. And what you do with what's yours determines what you'll do with what could be yours. The truth is, self-discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You can have all the goals in the world, but if you can't discipline yourself to do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not, those goals will remain dreams. And where does self-discipline start? It starts with that alarm clock. It starts with getting up when you said you would. It starts with doing what you plan to do instead of what's comfortable to do. I've watched this pattern for decades now. Show me someone who can't get out of bed in the morning, and I'll show you someone who's struggling in multiple areas of life. Show me someone who bounds out of bed with purpose and intention, and I'll show you someone who's creating the life they want. It's not complicated. It's actually beautifully simple. Your morning routine is a reflection of your personal philosophy, and your personal philosophy determines your results. Here's something else I learned. Successful people start their day as students. They wake up ready to learn something, to improve something, to grow in some way. Unsuccessful people start their day as victims. They wake up complaining about having to get up, complaining about what they have to do, complaining about the weather, the traffic, their circumstances. One group is asking, what can I learn today? The other group is asking, why does this always happen to me? And those two questions lead to two completely different destinations. You know what separates average from excellence? It's not talent. I've met plenty of talented people who are broke. It's not connections. I've met people with incredible networks who couldn't make anything happen. It's not even intelligence. I've met brilliant people who couldn't pay their bills. What separates average from excellence is this. Successful people do daily what unsuccessful people do occasionally. And where does that daily discipline show up first? In the morning. Think about the power of this. If you invest one focused hour every morning working on yourself, reading, learning, planning, preparing your mind, that's 7 hours a week. That's 30 hours a month. That's 365 hours a year. Do you know what happens when you invest 365 hours a year in personal development while everyone else is hitting the snooze button? You become a different person. And when you become a different person, you attract different opportunities. You make different decisions. You get different results. The morning isn't just another part of your day. It's the command center. It's where you set the emotional tone, the mental frequency, and the spiritual direction for everything that follows. If you start your morning rushed, stressed, and reactive, that's the energy you carry into your work, your relationships, your decisions. But if you start your morning peaceful, purposeful, and proactive, that becomes your operating system for the day. Let me give you something practical. Those first 60 minutes after you wake up are the most valuable 60 minutes of your entire day. Not because of what you can produce in that hour, but because of what you can become in that hour. See, production is important, but becoming is essential. You can't produce more until you become more. And you become more by investing in yourself when everyone else is sleeping, scrolling, or stumbling through their morning in a fog. Here's the challenge most people face. They know they should have a better morning routine, but they don't know where to start. So let me make it simple. Don't try to become a different person overnight. Just wake up 30 minutes earlier tomorrow. That's it, 30 minutes. And in those 30 minutes, do something that feeds your mind, your spirit, or your body. Read 10 pages of a good book. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Review your goals. Stretch, pray, meditate, think, plan. Whatever speaks to you, but make it intentional. And here's what you'll notice. Those 30 minutes will start to change how you feel about yourself. When you do what you said you would do, you build self-trust. When you invest in yourself before you invest in anyone else's agenda, you build self-respect. When you start your day with purpose instead of panic, you build confidence. And those invisible deposits, self-trust, self-respect, confidence, those are the foundation of every visible success you'll ever achieve. The morning advantage isn't about becoming superhuman. It's about becoming intentional. It's about understanding that how you greet the day determines how the day greets you back. It's about recognizing that you're either designing your life or you're being designed by your circumstances, and that battle is won or lost before 9 in the morning. So here's my question for you. What's your morning telling the world about who you are and who you're becoming?